First thing we're going to do, before I do any kind of staking up, what I typically try to do is go over the plant for anything like suckers, like we talked about the last video. So I'll go through and check the crotches from where you would typically see a sucker coming up, and you'll see here that there's a fairly large one that's coming up over here. So I'm going to clean that up first just by pulling it off like that. Now it seems like you're taking off quite a bit of extra growth there, and this will develop into a whole plant of its own if you let it. Problem with that is it turns your tomato plants into a big jungle, and actually this starts to compete with the main plant, and so it seems like you're getting a lot extra, but actually you're losing out because you're creating competition inside the plant itself. So better to get rid of those. Go through them one by, all the branches one by one, and make sure that they're all clean. There's no suckers coming up. There's one here up at the top. You probably don't see it very well. It's coming up here, but I'm leaving that because I'll be able to get that the next time. So the ones near the top I usually leave because in case something should happen to the main leader, then you've got one coming up underneath that you can make use of, turn it into a new leader. The next thing too, the other thing that is going to be sort of the next topic, but it's here's a little bit of a preview of it, is that all of these bottom branches here will eventually actually be cut off. They're not staying. Because what you want is nice airflow from the ground up. You don't want these bottom leaves to be too much in contact with soil, because that's where they'll get diseases and it'll spread to the rest of the plant. So you want this area up, from the ground up to the first flowers to be sort of cleaned up. But we're not going to do that fully right now. All I'm going to do is just take out a couple in preparation for that. So, slowly work our way to cleaning it up, because I don't want to take away too many leaves right away. This is all interaction with the sun. This is how plants live and breathe. So I don't want to remove those all just in one shot. But we are eventually going to take all of these out and have about a foot of clear space, so that there's a lot of breathing room and air passing through, and it'll cut down on the possibility of diseases. All of these little marks here are from the hail that came down a few weeks ago. That's hail damage there. So another reason to get rid of these in time. So that's what we're doing. I'm starting it off. Use the Felcos, cut off these first couple ones, especially ones that are touching the ground, and we're going to throw those away, toss them to the side, put them in the compost. For the actual staking, there's not much to it. What I do is, like, kind of as a basic rule of thumb, I'll just pull the plant up lightly towards the stake and just give it a double knot tie here, and that's it. That's really all there is to it. I'll do that maybe like once a week. I'll go through. If they don't really need staking, I might leave it a day or two. But the main thing here is that you're lending support to the plant. You're not really trying to squeeze it in. You're not doing anything too harsh with it. You're just allowing the plant to follow the stake up so it stays nice and straight. It's got some flexibility. Again, that's why I like this elastic stuff. Plant can move around. You're not restricting it in any way, and it'll just keep following up and up. Actually, if you look at this here, this is that one's gotten away from me here. That is a very large sucker, so I'm clipping that away, because here's the main stem here. This is the one that we're following up. So this guy is really going to take away a lot of energy from the plant, so it's gone. Anyway, that's about it. There's nothing much to it other than, you know, where I tie it up will be roughly about, you know, 6 inches from the top at every time that I'm tying up. So basically, I'm probably going to tie, you know, the plant every 6 to 8 inches as it's going up. So it's a fair amount of tying and a fair amount of material that you're going to be using if you've got a lot of plants. But it's well worth it, and you'll have like nicer growing plants, easier to pick, way more disease free, and yeah, just a much happier experience for the grower and the plant itself. So anyway, that's it for the staking video. But if you have any questions, actually just, you know, let us know, and we'll get back to you and see if we can guide you through some of this stuff. Okay, happy growing. Bye.